Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rex Hao. Besides, I'm the publisher of a local publishing house. I'm also the co-founder of Taipei Book Fair Foundation and one of the board members now. So today, I'm happy to host this meeting on behalf of Taipei Book Fair Foundation. So to invite 3 jurors of Bologna Ragazzi Awards to discuss the 2 books we got the awards this year with the artists and editors. So through the discussion, we hope to let more people to enjoy the beauty of these books. So there will be 3 parts of this meeting. 2 conference calls first. The first conference call is about home, which was created by Lin En and published by Papa Publishing House, and is the winner of a fiction category this year. And second part is about Love Letter, which was created by Animal Chen and published by Locust Publishing House, and got the special mention award in poetry category. So each conference call will be 20 minutes. And then after the conference calls, we will invite Elena Pasoli, the manager of our Bologna Book Fair, to add her comments on the performances of Taiwan's picture books in Bologna in the recent years, very probably for 5 minutes. So now we will begin with part 1. So let's welcome Lin En, the artist of Home, and Jian Qianyi, the editor, and also Izabella Kaluta, the juror of general categories of Ragazzi Awards this year. So I will be the moderator, and Phoebe Chen, my colleague, will be my assistant and the interpreter. So Lian, first of all, congratulations to your beautiful book, Home, the first-time winner from Taiwan of fiction category of Ragazzi Awards. So concerning Home, what would you like to talk about? The most you want to share us, the most you want to share with us?
对我来说呢，创作都是离不开生活经验的。像我书中有很多关于台北的街景，关于台湾的一些自然的风景，有很多是我童年的记忆。那像图中出现，画面里书里面有出现过的台北跟新北中间有连接的很多的桥，那个对我来说是一个儿时记忆的一个很重要的一个分记忆的点。因为我每次只要从新北到台北都会经过那些桥，所以只要知道我上桥了，我就会知道我已经快要抵达目的地了。那这本书本来是从5张台湾的风景图去发展成一个故事。一开始在做发想故事的时候，其实我也想过要做跟旅行有关的故事，比如说像最一开始的故事是一个泡泡去旅行的故事，但是后来呢，我想这本书最一开始是那5张图，那我应该要回到那5张图的初衷去完成这个故事，也就是一开始是为了纪念齐柏林导演身故的消息，所以我将主题改成了家，也就是台湾，然后以台湾为主，以我的生活为主去完成这本书的故事。那书中有借由一只鸟去跟着车子穿梭在公路、河畔、桥边、农田、工厂等台湾熟悉的一些在地的元素，透过俯视的角度，看到这个家一整天发生的故事。我有需要停下来让你先翻译吗？不用。好。那只鸟就跟着这台车子在台湾四处的走，然后这一整天我们在外面四处，不管是去上班或是上课，我们出门一整天，最后终归是要回到家里的。 然后家才是我们最后的归属。所以我这本书为的就是要呈现台湾是我们的家的这个想法。那我一直都很喜欢用拼贴的形式去完成，不管是插画或是绘图的作品。在拼贴的方式里面，我也做了蛮多的尝试。除了会从网络上观摩一些国外艺术家的作品，我平常也会收集很多身边拿得到的纸，不管是杂志的型录啊，或是路边随手可得的库卡、明信片等等，或是报纸、传单，只要我觉得那个纸是好看的，我就会把它捡起来。而且，我觉得这些在杂志然后或是报纸里面出现的内容，可以把这些东西融合到画面里面，我觉得更能够带出这本书所要传达的概念。这样子，谢谢。
So now I'm asking Cheryl Chen to share with us. She is an editor at Papa, where she has worked with children's picture books and books for early readers. And over to you. 好。
大家好，我是巴巴文化的编辑倩怡。那首先很感谢大块文化的郝明义先生跟波隆那主办单位的支持，让我们有这个机会可以再跟更多人进行分享。那我现在介绍一下巴巴文化，就是一开始是我们的老板巴克利，他一开始跟自己的孩子每天说故事，那他发现这个说故事是非常有趣的事情，他希望可以让更多的孩子也可以感受到这样子的快乐，所以这就是巴巴文化创始的动机。那因为台湾是一个海岛，我们在吸收外来文化是非常的强大的，可是我们常常会反省自己的文化到底是什么，而我们在这块土地想要告诉孩子们的是什么，所以这个就是巴巴文化在出版选题当中很重要的一个部分。所以我们在跟林连恩老师的合作最早是在2017年，那本书叫做《大嘴龙牵红线》，就是由12生肖来撰写的。那现在我来介绍一下，就是《Home》这一本书的出版历程。2018年，连恩老师获得了波隆那插画奖的台湾意向。在报名之前呢，他就跟巴巴文化的巴克利呢进行了分享。那我们当时候就被这5张图的表现力给感动了，所以给予很高的期待。所以我们那时候就决定，不管有没有得奖，巴巴文化都会将这几张图呢继续发展成故事。从出版者的角度来说，这个故事很能获得我们的共鸣，因为每个人都会有对于自己的家或是家乡有一个记忆点。那 Home 它在串接这些记忆点的部分用的就是刚刚说到的大大小小的桥梁。那桥它可以是地方的跨越，也是人与人之间的沟通。所以当这本书它用最就是单纯的图像语言在诉说的时候，它表现出来的不只是淳朴的台湾日常，那它整体的气氛是平和的，是不分彼此的。对巴巴文化来说，出版 Home 就是我们希望给这个世界的礼物。谢谢。
Now, finally, we have Izabella Kaluta with us today. And before we begin, let me introduce her to you. Izabella Kaluta is a member of the jury of the 2021 Bologna Ragazzi Award. She is also the cultural manager operating on the Polish and international book markets, and until recently, the vice president of the foundation set up by the Polish Nobel Prize winner for literature, Olga Tokarczuk. Now, over to you, Izabella.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Greetings from Kraków in Poland. It's exactly noon here.
Yeah, we are almost halfway through the discussion, and we would love to hear your thoughts about the book and the selection process. So would you please share with us what is it about Home that captivated you?
I was captivated the clarity of the artistic vision, what can be noticed at the first glance. I have never been to Taiwan before, but I knew immediately that it was a Taiwanese landscape, which I saw on the cover of Home. and that it clearly stood out from other books on the tables in Bologna when we judged. And inside the book, I found even more interesting illustrations, and it's a pity I can't show you them right now. Especially, I like especially the illustration with the back of the truck.
That's right.
So it is somehow fantastic. You know, this is clearly an artistic eye which catch that scene. And of course, I didn't understand the story, but I thought, but this is about the connection between the link between living in the countryside and living in the city, and I thought that it is somehow interesting to talk with children about this connection, that you can, when you want to buy something in the store, there is always someone who should deliver this goods from the countryside. So I thought it is somehow very simple story which could appeal to everyone. And then I saw this, I understood, but there is the girl, the daughter, and the father, and this is he's a delivery man, so she's waiting for him all the day. I didn't understood the presence of the red bird at that time, but it was somehow interesting. So I thought that the book is really something different from the other books presented on the tables, and I put without any hesitation my juror white dot sticker on the cover of the book, and I waited very patiently for other jurors to notice the book. And then I must say that at this time I didn't remember that I should probably remember the illustrations from the Bologna illustration exhibition, but I didn't, and I didn't know, and I didn't know that the book was awarded in Taiwan. So it was somehow, it was only the book, not the fame of the book. It was only the book which catch my attention, and that's all.
Izabella, I then have another question prepared for you. So, as I was reading the jury comments, a lot of it mentions how it is the book for us to read in this post-COVID era. So how would you elaborate on the significance of home for readers today, especially child readers?
I think that due to the pandemic, many of us not only stopped traveling, but often didn't go out for work, and not all of us, of course. People who did delivery, nurses, doctors. So we simply started to understand the importance of these simple jobs. But for the first time, so many people simultaneously have experienced the delights and limitations of having and not having own home, own place in the world. And then I think we understood that it doesn't matter if you are a human or non-human being, like a bird in Lien Ann's book. So it suddenly became so obvious that the most important place in the world is the place where you can always come back and where you come from, your home.
Yeah, thank you, Izabella. So we have a few minutes left, and I'm wondering whether I should open this time for Izabella and Lilian to converse, and I will provide the translation necessary. So Izabella, do you have anything or any question you would like to direct to Lilian?
Of course, I'm really curious how it happened that you invented the story, the plot of the book. So I understand that illustrations were first, and then something happened that you decided to put this beautiful bird into the plot and create the story. So I'm interested how it happened.
一开始是5张风景图，那刚才有说是因为要纪念那个齐柏林导演，那他最有名的就是他的空拍的影片，台湾地景的空拍影片。那一开始是因为这5张俯视的风景图去做发想。那我最一开始有想过可能是一个旅行的故事，因为旅行它才有可能这5张图都会进入到这个故事里面。那最一开始有想过是一个泡泡，在可能是一个小女孩吹了一个泡泡，然后泡泡经过了这些地方，最后又回到原本的地方的一个故事。但是后来我想起这5张图的初衷是要纪念导演的事情，所以我又把主轴再拉回来，回到家，回到台湾这个地方，所以就变成现在的故事，就是我们出门不管是上班还是上课，最后都会有回到家的一个故事这样子。
Now I'll leave the final 2 minutes for Rex to do the closing remark.
Okay, so thank you very much for your joining, and especially Izabella, your time. Thank you very much. So we provide this video with English subtitles for Lilian's speech. Okay, so
thank you very
again.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, especially Chiara. Thank you for your attending. So let's start now for the part 2. And let's begin with Animal. So Animal, you have won the 2 awards of Lagazzi. So last year, Short Allergy was the winner of comics for young adults. And this year, Love Letter won the special mention of poetry category. So congratulations first. And then please, would you please start with the Love Letter and let us know what do you want to share us the most about this beautiful book?
一开始的构想是来自于我的生活。那我生活中有2件事情是很重要，我会去做的。一个就是爬山，一个就是阅读。那映入眼帘的爬山，当然会看到树；那阅读就会看到书。那么树与书这2者，感觉我看的好像都是同一件事情。那这就是我一开始的就形成了一个雏形。那这个雏形在整个过程当中有经过两次的变化。第一次变化是我将原本故事的第3人称这样的故事改为第1人称。那这个时候我就已经很确定，我就是要用情书的形式去书写。那也从这个写信的人，我很确定他就是一棵树。那收信的人本来从故事里面的某一位单一的角色，变成扩大变成是可以设置每一个阅读的读者。那第2个阶段是我把原本想要用华文去书写的情书变成台语。那这个过程当中是因为我跟我的父母， 我们只能用台语沟通。那因为他们完全是不会讲华文的。那后来有一段时间，我每天我都会陪我妈妈看台湾的传统戏曲。那在这种戏曲当中，有很大量会用到台语的文言文，它是一个比较古老的用法。那跟我们平常日常生活当中会用的用字遣词是不太一样的。那我觉得我在看这个戏的过程当中，我能够说出来那个文言文的程度，相较于我小时候低很多。所以我感觉，如果我用台语去书写这个情书，其实是蛮贴近原本的我自己，所以我愿意想要尝试去努力去用台语写出这样子的情书。那我认为在书里面有讲了很多已经消失的或者是正在消失的事情，然后比如说造纸的过程，或者是我使用的语言，以及我们手上握有的这一本纸本书，它其实都是在消失的。那我其实可以理解并且尊重这样的消失，因为我相信即便有一天他们消失了，他们也会转变成另外一种形式继续的传承。那即便他们消失了，我认为情感还是，但愿这些情感是不会消失的。以上就是大概我在制作这一本情书的整个过程。
And I will now use this opportunity to hand over the floor to Lin Yijun, who is the Deputy Editor-in-Chief at Locus.
那其实阿尼莫是作为一个编辑，就是很少可以遇到就是这么厉害的作者，就是他的创作才能真的非常非常巨大。那他不仅会画画，他也能够写非常好的文字，然后他又可以自己编织故事，他甚至还会拍照，还有很多其他美材的艺术创作形式，他都有办法处理跟发挥这样。那从去年得到拉加兹奖的漫画小碗，到今年的绘本请批，那两个书虽然的相距好像很短，1年之内他就出了2本书，但是其实两个书的材料他都在他心底琢磨酝酿非常久，然后他在仔细的编织组织成书。那请批里头，他就像他讲的，他其实里头有非常多数也都是长时间的累积，并不是非常短时间就画出来的。那其实在创作去年小碗那本书的时候，我们其实就分镜讨论很多，可是到请批这本书，其实就像刚刚阿尼莫讲的，他其实在心里头一次一次的打磨，他有历经几次的变形，他想要诉说的关于那个退流行、退时兴这个东西，他其实非常非常清楚。所以这一次作为编辑，我只需要从旁边协助他，就是帮他争取一些资源，让他可以完成他理想中想要做到的作品的样子。比如说书里头的字体是用签字，那比如说我们后来又做了一支非常非常棒的动画，那我其实从旁协助他，以及让这本书到最后你可以在透过制版跟印刷可以成为一本非常漂亮的纸本的书，那完成这本书核心里面的最后一里路。大概我这次就是协助他做这样就够了。那我觉得请批是一本非常非常特别的绘本。那原始的诗文其实阿尼莫是用台语写的，即使我们把它翻成就是同样是台湾我们常常讲的华语，音韵上都会差一点点。那现在他可以用一个英文翻译版在拉加兹奖得到国际评审的肯定，就是我们觉得特别的高兴，也非常谢谢拉加兹奖跟各位评审。
真批，袂记你经过偌济秋冬，阮才会当来甲这斟酌看到你的耳甲嘴、鼻仔甲目睭。你嘛点点看到阮想要互你看到我的心腹，阁有坦白的灵魂，阮的目屎一点一滴，大海拢想要了解。月娘为着一个好对象，找伊消散1500万，前步对着后步行，日日
So let me introduce Chiara to everyone. Chiara Basile, she has been among the organizers of the Junior Poetry Festival, which is the first international poetry festival for young people in Italy since 2019. And like Morag Styles, she is also a member of the jury for the Bologna Ragazzi Award. Thank you, Chiara, for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, so my first question to you is, what was your first impression of Love Letter?
Well, of course, this book impresses first for its illustrations. So first of all, I went through it. Then didn't even read the text. I watched it like a movie or something like that. And the choice of colors was what impressed me the most in the beginning. Then I went back to text, and I was so annoyed to not being able of reading Taiwanese because I read the English translation, but again, as you said, you mentioned for Mandarin Chinese, it was somehow lackey of something. Like it was missing what I felt was the mood of the book in a sense. So I went through it. I enjoyed it very much anyway, even in English, and the surprise ending, because I must say that this book leaves us suspended until the end of the text. So there's this surprise ending that made me wow. So this was the feeling when I first looked at it. As a bookseller, I'm a little tired about books because there are many that are made for booksellers and adults, but the double register here makes this one book very, very interesting.
Then Chiara, I have a second question for you. So as the jury was selecting the books and going over the poetry selection, what is it that sets Love Letter apart from the other poetry books?
Well, there were, one thing is that it was about, it was intended for, I think, for young adults mainly. So it's not necessarily a book for young children. I think it's for young adults and over. It's for everyone actually, but it can be best understood by teenagers or people who are fall in love very much, and so this aspect was interesting because there weren't many proposals of this kind among the books that were presented at the Bologna Ragazzi Award for Poetry. And the second thing was that it was a single poem throughout the book. This also was not the most common thing to be found in the proposals because for the Bologna Ragazzi Award, because most of them were anthologies from different poets, or collections of poems from the same author, but still collections. So this extended poem that went through quite a long book actually was very interesting. And of course, well, the illustrations set it apart for everyone in the jury, I think.
I guess I just have the final question for you, Chiara, then. How would you describe Love Letter to someone who doesn't read poetry?
Yeah, this is a question for booksellers, as I am. It's good. And I would probably start from the illustrations again. So this is not necessarily a book for poetry lovers. It's a book for book lovers, a book for illustration lovers. So it's I think, it can be for many different publics. And then the other thing is that I would suggest, as it was already mentioned, I would suggest listening to this book and watching this book in the wonderful video involving also Sam Liao. And I think it was, for me, it wasn't really part of the selection. I had already decided that I wanted to discuss this particular book with the jury when I watched the video. But when I watched it, I said, wow, this can be understood better by those who can't read the language. So it's really useful. It was really useful, and it's a wonderful piece of art. And I want to mention that it will be included. That video will be part of a collective reading of poetry that we will have as the final event of the Bologna Children's Book Fair this year on the 17th of June. So
wow,
our
that is wonderful.
Poetry party will include it. Yes.
Okay. Then finally, we have a few minutes left, and I think I want to ask Animal if you have any questions for Chiara.
我想表达一下我的得奖的想法。然后当然得奖在我制作这本书的过程当中没有想到。那我非常的感谢连续2年波隆那书展单位这边给我的肯定，然后我非常的感谢，然后并且提及了关于台语的这件事情，然后我觉得台语基于我的生命是很重要的，那也谢谢评审看到了这一件事情。
Chiara, do you have any questions for Animal?
Yeah, well, I read it in the book presentation, but I would like to know how long it took you to make this wonderful book. I mean, the whole construction of the book, how long it was, because it seems like a very complex book. So it would be interesting to know.
因为喜欢爬山跟看书的关系，所以我最早的一张图是从2016年开始画，但是那是就是我每一次我就画一棵树，然后1棵2棵，慢慢的越画越多的时候，即便我拥有了很多树的图之后，我还是不知道，我从来没有想过它们会变成什么。然后直到有一天，感觉这个系列的东西能够成为一个故事了，才拿出来重新去思考跟编辑那个故事进去。那在2017年的时候，我办了一个展览，然后里面就有几棵树是收录在这本书里面，然后渐渐的树越来越多，直到出版了小碗之后，也就是2020年这一整年当中，比较集中去思考怎么组织这些树，可能有一些是不能用的，可能有一些是要加进来新的，有一些是文字去配合图的，也有一些是图要画新的图去配合文字的，然后慢慢的把它制作出来。那这本书当中有一个部分是从树然后变成书的制作过程，然后这个也是我亲自去找了很多资料，然后再经过我自己的消化过才画出来的。好，这一个部分的图就是完完全全是在2020年这一年当中去画的，对，大概是这个样子。
Okay, then finally, we have a video from Morag Styles, who couldn't join us today, and she will provide additional feedback concerning Love Letter as a special mention in the category of poetry. And after we watch Morag's video, we can then give the floor over to Rex, who will give the closing remark.
This is Morag Styles speaking to you from Cambridge. What made me choose Love Letter as one of the best books of the Bologna Ragazzi Award for Poetry this year? as we had about 250 submissions this year, because it wasn't just poetry published in one year, but in a few, any book that was going to do well had to make a big impression quickly. And Love Letter did with me and indeed with the other judges. So you did extremely well. The book did extremely well to get a special commendation. And the criteria for the award was the way that word and image work together. And what made it distinctive was that the same person had done the illustrations as well as the poetry. And it was one of the very few books where this happened. But it still wouldn't have been picked out if it wasn't very, very special in terms of the quality of the poetry, the ideas that were there, and the beautiful way the illustrations harmonized with the poetry. It was quite an intriguing book. It's called Love Letter, and you expect, a sort of traditional love story of some kind, and it's got a surprise at the end, which I won't tell you because I hope readers will discover it with great pleasure for themselves.
Okay, so that was Morag Styles, who couldn't join us today, unfortunately. Then I will give the time over to Rex now, who will give the closing remark.
Okay, so anyway, thank you very much for your joining us, Chiara, your comments and feedbacks, and definitely your statement about your creation anymore, even though you and everything about this book, but still it's fantastic to listen to you personally. Yeah. So anyway, so thank you very much, and we'll stop here and see you soon in either Bologna or somewhere else, Chiara, and definitely we'll see each other anymore in Taiwan. Okay, take care. Hello, Elena. Thank you very much for joining us in your very busy schedule now. As you know, we, Taiwanese artists and publishers, have been attending Bologna Book Fair for quite a long time. Starting from 1988, Taiwanese artists have participated in the Illustrators exhibition for 32 years. More and more Taiwanese artists have been selected in the recent years. And actually, we reached the peak in 2019 when we had 9 artists selected. The only nation with more ones selected than Taiwan was Japan, which received 10. Concerning the Bologna Ragazzi Award, we began to receive awards of Ragazzi since 6 years ago. In the years 2015, 2016, and 2017, respectively, special mentions were given to the titles like Sun Xinyu's One Day in Beijing, Cai Zhaolun's Can't See, and Pei Zhou's The Gift in different categories. After a 2-year break, Animal Chen received the record-breaking first prize in the category of comics for young adults for the short elegy in 2020. Jimmy Liao's The Rainbow of Time received a special mention in the special category Cinema the same year. Entering into 2021, Animal Chen again received an award, which is a special mention in the category of poetry for his book, Love Letter. Also, Lin Lian En, who is the winner of the Bologna Ragazzi Award in Fiction category for her title Home, setting a new milestone. In addition to all of this, the BOP Asia Award was given to Green Press in 2014 and to Lucas in 2019. So, would you please tell us what did you see from these facts? Your comments and expectations? Thank you.
Hello everybody, I am Elena Pasoli, Director of the Bologna Children's Book Fair. It's an honor and a great pleasure to be here with you from virtual Bologna to share the joy and enthusiasm for the wonderful results achieved once again at the Bologna Children's Book Fair by Taiwanese creativity, its illustrators, authors, and publishers. Starting from the elegance of the Taiwanese publisher stands in Bologna, I must say that every year we are so curious to discover the creative idea behind the stand. Taiwanese children's publishing has always brought real publishing gems to Bologna. But I must say that never before we have heard and seen so much innovation and such an evocative and exciting artistic spirit as in the recent years. I went to retrace the history of the Bologna Ragazzi Award from 2015 to the present day and found a series of breathtaking Taiwanese successes. But this is only a part of their success. Their success ranges from the Bologna Ragazzi Award to the Bologna Prize for Best Children's Publisher of the Year, from the Illustrators exhibition to the BCBF SM Foundation International Award for Illustration. The family of the BCBF Awards is large, and Taiwan's creativity has touched them all. What I have seen along these years and what I think that caught the jury's attention is the poetic atmosphere that pervades many Taiwanese books, the skillful and unprecedented use of color, as well as the effectiveness and strength of black and whites. At the same time, what is fascinating about these books is their ability to invite you to take a deeper look and to look inside things, behind things, beyond things, offering multi-layered readings that make the book great for all ages. It is as if each page spoke a very modern language, echoing the value of cultural heritage, as if it were able to communicate with readers all over the world by declining for each one different nuances of dialogue. This way of speaking to the reader has a unique power, which our very rigorous juries cannot fail to see. And when I read what the 2020 comics jury said about Animo Chen's winning title, Chen's words as sequential images are the visual equivalent of poetry, purely restrained yet full of multiple nuances. Do let me say that the special mention again this year with Love Letter in the Bologna Ragazzi Award Poetry Special category was more than expected. I'm not surprised, confirming that in the last 3 years, about 10% of the selected artists each year for the Illustrators exhibition were Taiwanese. For most of them, Bologna has been a real launching pad for their career. And I hope it will also represent for them one of the most beautiful and beloved moments of their professional lives. The reason we're meeting today is the stunning performance of Home and Love Letter. But you know, the surprises of Bologna never end. A few minutes ago, the winner of the BCBF SM Foundation International Award for Illustration 2021 was announced. Once again, it's a Taiwanese illustrator. The winner of the award is Pei Xing Cho, a 20-year-old artist who has literally wowed the award international jury. What's next for her? A check for 15,000 euros that should give her the serenity to work hard on the creation of a picture book that will be published by SM Spanish Publishing House. The book will be presented in Bologna next year, and a solo exhibition will be dedicated to her in the heart of the fair. We wish her the same success that the same prize brought to Pei Tzu, and at the same time we wait to know the wonders that will enrich Bologna from Taiwan in the near future. Thank you very much, dear friends. I do look forward to welcoming you all in Bologna next year from March 21st to 24th. Arrivederci.
Hello, Elena. Thank you so much for your comments and feedbacks. We really appreciate for the friendship and help of both your predecessors and you. Actually, we have gained a lot of knowledge and experiences in many respects from attending your book fair. And definitely, and especially, I need to give you a big thank you for all of your help in the past years. So, ciao, and see you soon in Bologna or Taipei. Thank you again. Bye-bye. Ciao.